Well, welcome back to my reviews. Today I've got 3 toy Jeeps to show you. One from Britain's, a promotional model from a Chrysler dealership, and a dinky toy. This one here was in a Chrysler dealership in their showroom, and they had quite a few for sale, and I bought this with a Jeep Cherokee. I can't remember the exact year, but I know it was in the 1990s, so it must have been some sort of anniversary for Jeep or something. It's quite good detail. A shovel and an axe there. Folding windshield. Opening hood. A bit of engine detail in there. It's got lenses in the headlights, which is a nice touch. You can see the radiator in there behind the grille. Did a pretty good job on this one. And I use an old figure from a monogram model kit of a half-track as a driver. Fits in there quite nicely. Back in the late 30s and early 40s, the Army put out a request for a four-wheel drive recon car, and the Bantam Car Company, Willie and Ford submitted their designs and what have you, and the Bantam Car Company actually won. But the Army didn't think Bantam was a big enough company to fulfill the large amount of vehicles they'd need, so it was given to Willys and Ford, but it was still the Bantam design. I'm going to include a picture of the Bantam . And with the changes Willys and Ford did to the Bantam vehicle, that became the standard for the Jeep as we know it, the Army Jeep from those days. And Willys supplied the motor, which was a 4-cylinder straight engine, auto engine, and it was nicknamed the Go Devil, and it powered nearly all the Jeep vehicles built for the U.S. and their allies. Well, back in those days, they called anything that was untried or untested, it was a slang term, Jeep. And there was many things called Jeeps, even some ships and planes that hadn't been finished being designated yet or finished their testing. In 1941, the test driver for Willys drove a Jeep up the steps of the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. News articles referred to it as a Jeep or a quad. And Catherine Hillier, who was a reporter for the Washington Daily News and present at the time, asked the driver what the vehicle was called, and he responded, "It's a Jeep," and the name stuck. Well, the next one I've got here is a dinky toy. And it's quite nice, quite well detailed. When I originally got it at a toy show quite a few years ago, it was missing this here, this pack, 2 jerry cans, this gun, and a spare tire, and that jerry can. And I acquired all those through Steve Flowers Model Supplies. It's basically complete, minus the helmet for the driver, which I guess I gotta get someday. But it's a pretty neat toy. It was called the Commando Jeep, which I assume why there are no markings on it. Dinky Toys, US Jeep, made in England. You can see the screws holding it together. And it's got the tin plate hook, which is typical of the older Dinky Toys. This would have been part of the Battle Line series from Meccano from the late 70s, 77 and up. There's quite a few vehicles in that line, armored vehicles, tanks, etc. And this Jeep was one of them. Oops. And the last one I got here is a Britain's Army Jeep. It's from around 1977 also. That's when it came into the series. Now I got this at the flea market last year, and there was that tire and the wheel missing, or the hub were missing, which I reordered. That tire is a little more rubbery and flexible than the originals, which are like a vinyl plastic, but it's pretty neat. It came with the gunner and the 50 caliber machine gun, but the little hook on his foot that goes in that slot there is missing. But the driver was missing, so I had to reorder one of those through Brian. Got the jeweled headlights, plastic grille, pretty well all die-cast construction. And something I noticed on this one, I got a later one, boxed version of this, and it's got a rigid windshield that doesn't fold down, but this one folds down, so this must be an earlier one. And it locks in behind that tab there. Lift it up a bit, and there it is. But it's really nice. Any Jeep model is nice, I think. There's a Britain's 25-pounder, which hooks up nicely to that. Whoops. Makes a nice little set. Well, I hope you enjoyed my review of these 3 Jeeps. Britain's model. Dinky Toy Commando Jeep. And a Chrysler promotional model from the 90s. All nice models of this vehicle. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.